In this video, I'll be talking about the Elliott Wave Algo and AI and labeling in general. So first of all, the AI is sitting on this one here. That's the Elliott Wave AI. We'll come back to that. These two here are for manually putting on labeling. So if I wanted to put on a label here as an ABC, then that would be there for that. And then I can just click on that, and then I could look at that as any one of these corrections here. Now, obviously a triangle's got more labeling in it, so if I click on that, then I could put the D wave there and the E wave, well, the E wave over here for that. It's jumping around a little bit, so that means that I can go Control Alt Shift and hold that E wave under Control Shift, and then I can move it around without it, because when you put the labeling on, they'll always jump to the high and the low of structures. So that's there. And you can see this little warning sign here. Wave seed typically retraces 100% of the previous wave. I wonder if I can bring that down here further, because sometimes there's, yeah, you see how it's got this red one here? So this red one comes in here as, so basically what the program is doing is guiding you into the right wave counts. Now I could right click on this here and go down to the degrees here. The wave info here, and show errors and not show errors. So I can click on those here to remove these warnings and things here. But I mean, if you're learning Elliott Wave, this is really what this tool is about. So it's very helpful in that regard. So basically, what we did here, we clicked on that and we changed it from a triangle down to whatever here, and we could do a WXY here, those sorts of things. And then we can go to the right degree of things here. So we could put this on a oops a daisy, I'll just put that on intermediate here. The other thing that I wanted to explain here too is when you got a label on here, you can see that this is an intermediate degree and primary degree here. See how I've got intermediate degree here? Then if I put it down to minor degree, the minor waves will start showing up here. They'll show up there, but so if I went to, the other way around, if I went to primary 1 degree higher, then it would only show the primary and above. So we're working with intermediate here. And the reason for this here, because if I was doing some intraday work on this particular trend here, for example, then I don't want all these micro and sub-micro and sub-minuet waves showing up here. It's just a bit sort of messy. I know that I've got minor waves on there, but I don't even want them showing up there. So I'll just keep it at intermediate degree, and that way it keeps it nice and clean at that point. Okay, so that's that's how I can adjust them here. And of course I can hide them at this point. I could also lock them down as well, so that will lock in there, that won't move now as well at that point. And remember that the settings for these to make them larger or smaller was on these settings over here, the Elliott Wave degrees here. So if we're currently on intermediate degree here, if I found intermediate here and I wanted to change the color, that's fine, I can do that. Or I can just see how I'm making that larger here, so you can make it larger or smaller, so you can play around with those to your liking at that point. So this correction here is for doing it manually. I'm just going to delete this now. And if I say remove, this is remove the subwaves here. So if I had smaller waves in here between W and X here, and I wanted to keep them, then I would say remove subwaves, no. But if I wanted to remove everything in there, then I would say yes. But I know there's nothing in there, so I can just say yes at this point. But if I had all of this labeled up here, for example, then I might just want to keep the 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but I don't want to keep anything in the middle there. So I can just remove the subwaves from that point, or vice versa. So this one here is, well, this one here. So if I just remove this for a moment, so this has got the extended wave in here, but it may not be extended, so it might be a leading or just might be a normal sort of motive wave here, or if I had it as an ending diagonal, or then if I had it as an end and it's giving me a thing here, well, wave 4 must overlap wave 1 if it was going to be an ending diagonal. Do you know what I mean? So it's not doing that, so it's not that wave count, so I could go to the motive one here. But let's just delete that for a moment, and I don't want to, if there is any subwaves in here, I don't want to delete them, so I'll just remove that. But if I wanted to count this up here, I would come down to this point here. It's very important that I get that spot on here, and if I get it spot on, you see how this was this is 3 and 4 of primary degree. If I get that spot on there, this will automatically give me the right labeling here of intermediate degree here, and I'm putting intermediate degree here and here on this, and then and see how I've got this here. It's giving me a warning saying that wave 5's not there yet. If I put it here, so it's got the warning, so it's a truncated fifth wave at this point, which is, you know, it's just another box unticked. But if I put it up here higher, then it sits sweet at that particular point. So once again, I can click on this here and go through and, you know, add it here. But if I add it as a minor wave here, then it's going to disappear because I've only showing intermediate waves up here. Do you know what I mean? So if I click on that as minor, then and it disappears. Well, the reason for that is because you haven't got it displayed here as a minor, you know. So I'm going to put it back as intermediate here for the time being. So basically these two here are manually labeling situations, right? And there is other sort of functionality that you can do in here as well. If I click on this wave 3 here, just so it's up here. So I've got the degree here on this one. I'm working with intermediate degree here. I could change that once again. This is the wave information here showing errors and warnings, so I can click those off and on. This is the family tree here that I'm in, so I'm in the motive wave here. I can add channels here just by, you know, going in here. I can put in a temporary channel here or base channel here, those sorts of things, you know, based on, you can play around with those. There's some tools here for trend, you know, wave 4 and all that sort of stuff here. Time analysis and ratio here. So this is really comparing wave structures at this point. So this will be, this is looking at wave 3 and 1 here, so this would be the target area for that up there. So you can you know, you can play around with this to get targets and those sorts of things in terms of time. So ratios, I find that ratios will work better than time analysis. Time analysis is something in Elliott that hasn't really been cracked. You can get it now and again, but it's not, to me, it's not reliable enough to work on, but it's, you know, it's something that's there. And then if I wanted to decompose, you know, wave 3 here, then I can look at, you know, how this was counted to the upside here. So you can play around with all of those tools there. So look, this is the manual way of doing everything, you know. I just want to hide that. I might leave that minor one there at the moment. What's this BAC? So in fact, I'm just going to remove that there just for the purpose of all of this here, just to keep it clean here. So what we've looked at so far is we've looked at this one here for corrections, this one here for impulse waves. This one here is if I got an alternative count, I might think to myself, you know, I just want to make this here a minor, I think it could be a minor wave 3 here, or B, I don't want a B wave, so I could make it a wave 3 here. So basically it's, and do I want it on all the charts? Yeah, no, I just want it on the daily chart here. I don't need it on the rest of these here, so to speak, you know, and then I could create a template for that as well. So then I know that it's sitting here. So I could, you know, it's jumping to the, it's basically locking onto these prices here, which I don't want that. So I can go Control Shift and then it disconnects, and then I could put it there. So I could also probably, let's just see the settings on this here. Visibility, no, I can't write on that. I have to use the text. If I thought about writing alternative wave count on that. I'd have to use this text module to do text tool to do that. But this will just give me here, you know, just say to me, okay, well, this could be a minor wave 3 to the upside or something or other, you know, so if you wanted to do an alternative count. So this just does single counts at this point. So I'm just going to delete that now. So that's single counts. This is manually doing it here. And this here is the Elliott Wave Algo here. And this one here is the AI over here. We'll look at the AI also, but this is also going to change as well, because the current AI will pick up the whole chart of all the data. But I might just want to be doing this. I might just want to do this leg between 2 and 3 here. So we're going to have it so it just focuses on this particular data that's actually on all the data that's on the chart here itself at that point. We'll find that probably a little bit more sort of useful. But in the meantime here, this is the algo, so you can put it wherever you really want. So if I wanted to look at between 2 and 3 here, should I do that, or could I go to the bottom? I might just, doesn't really, I could go to here, but then I've got these in the way here, so I'll just do it from here first. So I put it there on the settings. I can start the wave count. I could change how many sub counts it does and how many pivots on it does on here as well. I can also look at different degrees here as well for this, but I'll just leave it on auto and just hit it here for the time being. So I have started on a low point at this stage. Now sometimes it'll give you a crazy wave count, and you know it's sort of not very sort of useful at this point. So it's given me one here. It hasn't really got in. It's started to done projections over here. So what I might do in this case is I might just delete this here and delete the subwaves in here, and then I'll delete this one here, and we'll just take it from the bottom here and see what it does at this point. Like I said, it might give you up to 20 different alternative counts. Now a lot of those, see, it's only found one alternative count here. So if I was going to go to the alternative count, I just hit on wave 1 here at the top here. See how it's sort of pivoted in. See, I've got it sort of highlighted as one. You can see this straight line here, here, and here. So then if I know that it's there. So I could click on here and you see how it's got this one here, but it might have 3 or 5 down here, or 10 or something, you know. So you can look through them. Sometimes they'll give the better count, I think, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they give, you know, not so good counts, and you know, technically they're fine, but they might not be the, you know, the best of them at this point, you know. So basically here I've got the minor counts here. I might be able to even bring in more, so I've got more counts, so I brought it down to minuet here, so it's giving me smaller counts within here as well. Yeah, it's on a daily chart, so I don't need to do that. So if I just keep it to clean out the intermediate ones here, and then I've got intermediate here, and so basically the count's given me here is the same count I had before, as 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, and going up for, you know, projecting 5 up here. So it might not be the best sort of count in here for this. You know, I could probably, it's a bit tricky because it's counted like this here. It's got this, it's okay as wave 1 and 2 here. Then it's got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Then the rest of the count in here. So I might be able to play around with that a little bit. It hasn't broken any sort of, you know, hasn't broken any rules or anything like that. So it's kind of fine, actually, you know, and it's projecting it to the upside further. This count here is a little bit tricky in here as well to count, because this wave 4, if I had that as wave 4, it's overlapping this wave 1 here. But anyway, you can kind of keep breaking it down until, you know, until you feel like you've got the right count. But because it's got the warnings and errors on it as well, then it will help guide you into the right space. Okay, now the last one that I wanted to talk about was the AI over here. So as I mentioned before, this AI here, if this is Bank of America here, if I send this off here, currently it's not reading this chart here unless Joel has updated it here. So it's basically taking some data and, you know, as probably giving a giving an intermediate count degree of wave 3, so and a cycle degree 1. So we haven't really been at that point yet. It's got an intraday structure here as well, and it's giving you a long entry and a short entry here as well. You know, you can go in here and ask it another question in here if you're not sure about something, and it'll give you an answer for that as well. Now this is going to be updated, the AI, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot here, but you can just play around with it at this particular stage, and when we update it, we'll you know, we'll show at that point here. But basically it's just saying here short entry sell BAC degree wave C here. It's looking for wave C. The high around the 47.20 area here, so it's saying it's short it at this point to go into down into a high at 47.20, 47.40 with a stop at 46.60. So it's telling you to short this top up here, and the long trade here. So you know, you can just take that with a pinch of salt, really, but we're going to improve on that in due course. So that's the Elliott Wave labeling. Obviously there's a little bit more to it, but this will just sort of get you basically started on the right track. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in.